The 12 Powers of Courage. If you want to know why courageous people are often champions in their areas of endeavor, watch this video carefully. Courage is one of the most powerful virtues every individual who dreams of success ought to cultivate and manifest. It is not the absence of fear but the decision to move toward obedience in the presence of a fearful situation. According to the scripture, after the death of Moses, God encouraged Joshua to embrace the spirit of courage. Be strong and courageous, for you shall cause this people to inherit the land that I swore to their fathers to give them. Joshua 1:6. We learn that God does not primarily use the strongest, the loudest, or the most connected. He uses those who choose to be courageous despite their circumstances. 1. Courage gives discernment. Courageous people have spiritual foresight. They see the seed of manipulation no matter how well it is packaged and reject it before it sprouts. Consider Daniel. He recognized that the king's food was not just a meal, it was a system designed to corrupt one's identity and devotion to God. Daniel 1:8. Courage empowered him to say no early, privately, and firmly. Courage releases divine backing. When you step out courageously, heaven steps in powerfully. Consider David before Goliath. While others saw size and threat, David saw an opportunity for God's name to be glorified. 1 Samuel 17:45. Courage positioned him for supernatural victory against impossible odds. Courage unlocks leadership authority. God entrusts leadership to those who are brave enough to stand alone. Consider Joshua. Leading Israel into unfamiliar territory required bold obedience, not popular opinion. Joshua 3:5-6. Courage transformed him from a follower of Moses into a commander of nations. 4. Courage silences intimidation. Fear loses its voice when courage speaks. Consider Esther. The threat of death did not silence her sense of purpose. Esther 4:16. Courage moved her from the palace to the place of intercession, and an entire nation was preserved. 5. Courage births uncommon faith. Faith grows strongest when fear is confronted, not avoided. Consider Abraham. He obeyed God without knowing the destination. Genesis 12:1-4. Courage carried him into covenant promises beyond human logic. Courage provokes divine remembrance. God remembers those who stand boldly for him. Consider Noah. In a corrupt generation, he obeyed God despite ridicule. Genesis 6:22. Courage made him a preserver of destiny when the world was reset. Courage protects spiritual identity. It takes courage to remain consecrated in a compromised world. Consider Joseph. He fled temptation rather than negotiate with sin. Genesis 39:9-12. Courage preserved his integrity and prepared him for the throne. Courage attracts divine promotion. God elevates those who are fearless in obedience. Consider Ruth. Leaving familiarity for faith was a courageous choice. Ruth 1:16-17. Courage repositioned her from loss to legacy. Courage activates spiritual authority. Authority flows where courage dwells. Consider Elijah on Mount Carmel. He stood alone against false prophets. 1 Kings 18:21-39. Courage called down fire and restored the hearts of a nation. 10. Courage sustains perseverance. Courage keeps you standing when results are delayed. Consider Job. Though confused and afflicted, he refused to curse God. Job 13:15. Courage carried him through suffering into double restoration. Courage opens destiny doors. Some doors only respond to bold action. Consider Peter stepping out of the boat. Matthew 14:29. Courage allowed him to walk where others only watched. Courage fulfills divine purpose. Purpose is completed by those who finish bravely. Consider Jesus Christ. He faced the cross with resolute courage. Luke 22:42. Courage fulfilled redemption and secured eternal victory for mankind. Courage is not optional for destiny, it is essential. This year, choose courage. Heaven responds to it. If this video resonates with you, subscribe, like, and share it with someone you care for. Comment, "I choose courage this year." Thanks for watching.